Time for our 40th question on our SAT practice list here on Wagner Academy. It says the figure above shows the rectangular solid. So in other words, a rectangular prism with width t, length u, and height v. So we see that in the picture up here. If t times u equals 8, so we're saying width times length equals 8, uv equals 12, height here v and length u, and vt equals 24, this times this. What is the volume of the rectangular solid? So let's write those equations down off to the side here. t times u equals 8, u times v equals 12, and v times t equals 24. And so in thinking this one through, yeah, you could use a guess and check type method, and I think that would work pretty well actually on this one, because these numbers aren't that hard to deal with. You could think of numbers where this would be the case. T times u is 8, u times v is 12, and v times t is 24. You could think of 3 different numbers to fill in for those variables that would make all those true at the same time. And guess and check way, I don't think it would take that long to figure that out. However, I want you to know how to do something like this without having to use the guess and check method. So if you have uv equals 12, it would be nice if I could write u in terms of v and t in terms of v, which I can do based on what I have here. If I just had the v here and the v here for the variables, then I could easily solve for what v is based on that. So uv equals 12. If I divided both sides by u, I would have v equals 12 divided by u. And likewise with this one, if I divided both sides by t, I would have v equals 24 over t. So from there, if I take this and this, that idea and that idea, combine it together with this equation, so I'm going to merge these 2 equations together, I would then have t replace t. I meant to change this around, so I'm sorry. I said I was going to do something that I didn't end up doing. I meant to write that divide both sides by v, so that u then equals 12 over v and t equals 24 over v. Now I have them both written in terms of v. Now I did what I said I was going to do. And so I can replace u with 12 over v, and I can replace t with 24 over v, just using substitution. So 24 over v instead of t, and 12 over v instead of u would have to equal 8. And now just work that out. So 24 times 12, that'd be twice as much as 12 times 12. So 144 times 2, that's 288. I'm going to have that equals 8. I can think of this as a fraction, and I can cross multiply. Means extremes works in this case. Some of you may have learned it like that. But 288 times 1, 288 equals 8 times v squared. If I divide both sides by 8, I'm left with 36 equals v squared. 8's canceled here. And we have then plus or minus 6 would work, but I can't have a length of a negative number, so v equals 6. We're trying to find out what's the volume of the rectangular solid, so I need to know what's my height and my width and length here as well. But based on what I just found out there, these other two should be pretty easy to fill in. So I know now that 6 equals v. I can use that piece of information and I can plug it in into either one of these to solve for u and for t. So if 6 is v right here, what number times 6 equals 12? Clearly then u, based on that, is going to be 2. And so I've got a 2 up here, and v times t is 24. 6 times what number is 24? T must be 4 in that case. And so the volume is going to be length times width times height. I know that t is 4 here. I'll just write that in quick. So I've got 4 times 2 times 6. The order you multiply these 3 numbers in doesn't really matter. You've got 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 6 is 48. No units given, so I can just leave the units out. Final answer, choice C.